The Superman trailer rocks the world. I got to meet Harrison Ford. Final Destination Bloodlines demolishes the box office. HBO Max rebrands again, and the Batman 2 script is almost done, plus so much more news coming out for this week's episode of Movie News.
What is up, movie friends? Welcome back to Raiders of the Lost podcast, the ultimate film and TV podcast. Another episode of Movie News. This is the weekly episode where we go through all of the industry news, so you don't have to. No need to scour the internet. We did it for you, so sit back, relax, and hear about what's going on in the world of film and television. Before we take it away with the box office, James, I'm gone for 10 days. I'm in London. I've been gone for 10 days. And you met Harrison Ford. What the actual fuck?
Yeah, so we planned this. We knew you were leaving, so Apple TV and I, we got together and said, hey, we want you to meet Harrison without Anthony. It'd be great. No, I was very fortunate enough this past week to get invited by Apple TV Plus to go to the set and visit Shrinking Season 3 in production, where I got to meet the cast, which was so incredible. I got to meet Harrison. I got like 4 seconds with him solo, so I just asked for a photo and said, thank you basically for your career. And he's such a nice, warm, welcoming guy. Basically, I got to walk each of the sets, and the actors had been filming all day, and they just hung out and waited for us to meet them. And you got to ask them some questions. So it's kind of like a mini Q&A in their own, like their office. Like he plays Paul on the show, so we were inside of his office. Got to ask him about the show, and then I asked him for a photo. He's so warm, welcoming, and so gracious with his time, and he's full of wisdom. He's just so funny as well. And then I got to meet Jason Segel, which was so cool, Brett Goldstein, Jessica Williams, Lukita Maxwell, everyone on the show, all the main cast I got to meet, which is super fun and surreal, and just walking the set was a blast. It was so cool, and I'm a huge How I Met Your Mother fan. So
Yeah. You love Segel,
was really surreal for me as well. So to shake Harrison Ford's hand and take a photo, it's just something I'll remember forever.
Oh my God, man. Oh my God. 2 weeks of difference. And I couldn't have been 2 weeks ago. Anyways, I'm very happy for you. It's still a really cool experience. I'm a little jealous, but who wouldn't be? But that's awesome.
And Michael J. Fox just got cast, and he was filming that day, but he wasn't there to meet. But he just joined the cast.
Oh man, that would have been fucking insane if you met Harrison Ford and Michael J. Fox in the same day. Holy shit!
Oh man, it was so cool. Yeah, it was super fun. Everyone was so nice.
Glad you had that experience, bud. All right, let's move it into the box office. And New Line Cinema came out on top. Final Destination Bloodlines demolished the box office. First place, $43 million domestic opening weekend. This is a franchise best. It's the 6th film in this franchise. Highest performer. This looks like it's going to make a ton of money domestic. Great word of mouth. Incredible reviews from critics and audiences. So it's going to have great legs. I expect it to do really well overseas. So within a week, it'll have turned a profit after this weekend. So a massive success. James and I really liked the film. We did a really great breakdown, an hour and a half on Final Destination Bloodlines that comes out tomorrow on Monday, so stay tuned for that episode. Really, really fun time.
Its budget was $50 million, so it will have no problem getting there. It probably needs about 100, 150 to turn green and profitable. It's just going to cruise there. It's just demolished. That's insane. 43 opening.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Domestic.
And second place was actually a tight race between Thunderbolts and Sinners. Thunderbolts slightly edged out in its third weekend with $16.5 million, holding on pretty decently for an MCU film. And then Sinners, in its fifth weekend, an incredible $15 million, adding to its domestic haul. It's outpacing everything in the horror R-rated genre over the past 10 years, and it's just not slowing down. Incredible numbers and word of mouth, and what an absolute success, closing in on $300 million total box office. Minecraft, fourth place, still chugging along, past $900 million globally with a $6 million box office this weekend. And the other new release this weekend, Hurry Up Tomorrow, the weekend's new film starring himself as himself, with Jenna Ortega and Barry Keoghan, opened to a pretty low $5 million. It does have a $15 million budget, so it wasn't a big film. Also, it's basically a commercial for his new tour and album. But again, you would think that one of the biggest pop stars alive would have a bigger box office reach, but again, didn't really work out. It got dismal reviews, 15% Rotten Tomatoes, under 3 on Letterboxd. Nobody seems to be really enjoying the film. I'm not really interested in seeing it, but what I am interested in seeing is a movie you just saw, James, Clown in a Cornfield. Last weekend, it was reported earned IFC's biggest opening weekend ever, with $3.6 million last weekend. No numbers on what it did this weekend, but this was made for less than $1 million, so it's already a profitable film. You enjoyed the film, right, Jim?
Before we continue, check out this amazing Mission Impossible Final Reckoning poster over my right shoulder. This was provided by our great friends at movieposters.com, as well as the light box that it is in. This is a movie theater quality poster, double-sided. Our coupon code Raiders10 will get you 10% off at checkout on any order. Plus, if you use our affiliate link, we get commission on every single purchase. We've been getting a bunch of orders and a lot of really cool commissions on that. So thanks to everyone who's been using our link. Use that link. Use our code. It's a win-win. You get an awesome poster. We get a little bit of the cuts. We're all happy people. Yeah, so I think it's box office. It's over $5 million right now at the box office. It's just a huge hit. I mean, this is the thing. It's sort of capturing that Terrifier, the Boston just came out. The
fucking Terrifier guy.
Fucking Terrifier. A clown horror movie. This is based on a book. And overall, I saw this movie, and it was pretty enjoyable. It's pretty much all practical kills, which I loved. I liked Final Destination a lot, but a lot of the CGI kills I was a little disappointed by, and you'll learn more about that tomorrow. Clown in the Cornfield, just like a straight-up slasher movie. And what's cool about it is the opening scene is an entire opening scene of Jaws reference. It's like a shot-for-shot, same exact kind of thing, which I thought was a lot of fun. You know, the director's having a good time referencing probably one of his all-time favorite movies. And I'm talking about the campfire sequence. It's pretty much the exact same thing, except for in a cornfield. And overall, it was fun. It was a bit of a poor landing in the third act, but it was just a classic, B horror slasher, and I had a blast. It's not that funny, but it's still cringy at moments, but it's that perfect balance you want from this kind of campy horror movie. It knows exactly what it is. And, I mean, we have, 30-year-olds playing teenagers. It is what it is. But I had a lot of fun watching this movie in theaters, full of great kills, and a really good first hour. Really, really good.
Nice. Happy to hear. I'm going to check it out. I don't think it's going to play in the UK at all, so I'll check it out when I'm back home. All right, we have some news about forecasts for two big movies that are coming out this summer and their box office opening weekend. So, Ballerina is tracking to earn a pretty decent $35 to $40 million opening weekend domestic box office when it comes out in June 6th. And Lionsgate spent about $70 million on that film, so it doesn't need to have gigantic numbers to become profitable for the studio. So that's a pretty good opening weekend for it. However, Superman...
And that's including the reshoots, too.
Yeah. Superman is tracking with an astronomical $175 million opening weekend domestic. This comes out in July. And I think it has a potential to be absolutely one of the biggest hits of the year. That is a huge, huge opening weekend for the first film in a new franchise. So, to put it in perspective, Man of Steel didn't make close to that. I don't think any Superman movie has topped $100 million. I think maybe Man of Steel made 120 opening weekend, if that. So this is really surprising. People are very curious about this film, but I think this is what happens with the great trailer and then James Gunn being attached to it. People are interested and curious to see this thing. I think they're doing a great job with marketing. They're rolling it out heavily now, and we're going to start seeing a lot of Superman in June. So expect this to be a huge, huge film.
Man of Steel made 125 opening weekend domestic, 200 million internationally. I think it's right on the money.
I was
right
close.
There.
I have pretty good recall for some things.
And that was during the superhero at its peak. Like, people were obsessed with superheroes right in 2013, 2014. There was really, really booming, and obviously up until 2019 when it hit its peak. So, and obviously it's Superman, so who's not going to want to see a Superman movie?
Yeah.
But we'll get to Superman in the trailer in just a minute real quick. Mickey 17's debuting on HBO Max Friday the 23rd. So if you didn't see that in theaters, I can't recommend checking it out enough. It's such an awesome movie, in my top 5 of the year. But y'all definitely are waiting for us to finally touch on this amazing, kick-ass Superman trailer. And my goodness, they've been holding out on us, guys, in just the best ways possible, because the teasers clearly didn't give anything away. This full-length trailer finally gives us some story, but most importantly, it gives us some good dialogue sequences with Clark Kent, Superman, And man, James Gunn's Superman looks like one of the best films of the year. I haven't been this excited, or I haven't had my hair stand up watching a superhero trailer in quite a long time. And I gotta say, this one gave me goosebumps. It got me fist pumping, and I am so hyped for this movie.
It looks spectacular. I love the color palette. I love the high contrast. I love how much energy and vibrancy there is to this. He's really switching things up from what DC's palette was before, and this is what they need going forward. And it doesn't look like, even though we thought it was going to be overstuffed with heroes, it does look like those other heroes have minimal roles to play in the story, and it really is going to be centered on Supes versus Lex. And Nicholas Hoult looks great. Corn Sweat looks fantastic. Rachel Brosnahan. Overall, this is extremely exciting and has me much more interested in checking this film out. I think this was way better than what I was expecting for their final trailer.
And I just loved when he switched up his voice from Clark Kent to Superman. And when Corn Sweat gave us that first, like, good Superman line, I think he said Lois or Lois Lane. Holy crap. I'm like, that is Superman. I think that people have been sleeping on Corn Sweat as an actor and as a performer because the teasing and the marketing trailers so far haven't really shown us much. But I think we got finally a good, decent glimpse of what his character is going to be like in this specific Superman world. And I think Corn Sweat's just going to blow people's hair back, literally.
And I have no idea what the plot is. I don't know what the plot is, which is great.
It seems sort of like maybe Lex is trying to stop super beings from existing. I don't know.
No, he looks like he has super beings on his team. Doesn't look like that at all.
It's true. Yeah, he does. The engineer.
No
my
idea.
Goodness. I cannot wait for this movie. It cannot come soon enough.
Oh, man, it's going to be great. Now we have some news about Ari Aster's next film, Eddington, just had its debut premiere at the Cannes Film Festival in competition. However, it has received a pretty muted and lukewarm response, getting mixed to low reactions from both critics and audiences and fans alike in France. But again, this movie comes out in August. We'll stay tuned for it. We love Ari Aster, but it was a little disappointing reading the early reactions to the film. It doesn't look like it's going to be well received around the world. It looks like it's going to be a mixed bag.
Well, I mean, Beau is Afraid had the same kind of thing, and you love that movie.
I love
think
Beau.
That movie's really terrific as
Beau.
well. So I think Beau is Afraid, and Ari Aster's become a very divisive filmmaker. It's really interesting because his first two movies, Hereditary and Midsommar, for big theatrical releases, for features for him, are just loved and received so well. But now his most recent two films are very divisive. It's really interesting how he's done that with his career.
Now, HBO Max. This is the sixth rebrand of the company. In as many years, HBO and Warner Brothers have changed the title of this company every year without fail. And once again, they've rebranded it to HBO Max. And they've also changed the color again. So they've gone blue, they've gone black, they've gone purple, they've gone HBO, they've gone Max, they've gone HBO Max. Then again, this looks like maybe they'll stick with HBO Max. It's HBO Max with the black and white color palette. They did post, I will give them some credit, they posted some really funny social media content with a bunch of stars making jokes and doing little skits about the name change. So I appreciate how they're poking fun at themselves. But guys, let's just stick with something for a little bit.
I think HBO Max, it should have never changed from that. I thought that was a good name when they rebranded to that for like their third time. And they do have a sense of humor about it, which is fun. I don't know why they keep rebranding. I'm guessing it's just new people coming into the marketing teams and figuring out new strategies to get eyeballs on their team. Or maybe it's sort of like a pop star changing their look every year to get the eyeballs back. You know what I mean? You're just doing something new. Who knows why they keep changing it? I'm guessing that's it, but I think they got to stay consistent if they're trying to get people to watch their shows on TV, on movies on their platform. I mean, just consistently keep making great shows on TV and people will watch. But I hopefully this is like a final rebrand for at least a couple more years.
Yeah, I hope so.
So let's talk about Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Odyssey, we haven't talked about this in a couple of weeks. It's been crazy that we haven't.
Yeah, what the hell?
Now, we all know Nolan has changed the game of filmmaking when it comes to using IMAX film cameras and shooting on IMAX film. No one had ever been doing it before outside of documentary filmmaking. For example, with NASA and space documentaries, we're really big with it, and ocean documentaries. But Nolan started using IMAX film cameras on The Dark Knight. He tested it out on The Prestige in one of the scenes there. And since then, obviously, Sinners was shot multi-format with IMAX film cameras. A lot of filmmakers are doing it. But Nolan has never shot a movie entirely on IMAX cameras because they're so loud and they're so massive and they're so big, so they're tough to do close-ups, dialogue sequences where you need good audio. However, The Odyssey will be the first movie he's ever made entirely shot on IMAX cameras and on IMAX film.
Now, yeah, a lot of people were asking us. They were confused. They thought he's been shooting on IMAX. So I want to just clear it up. He's always been shooting portions of his films in IMAX because of what James just said about how loud the cameras are. They are not usable in closed interiors, intimate settings at all if you're having dialogue scenes. So he's never been able to use IMAX for everything. So this will be the first time a film has ever done it for every shot in its film. And so I made a little list of his previous films using the format. So Dunkirk had the most IMAX footage in his career with 77 minutes of IMAX film footage. Tenet, 75 minutes. The Dark Knight Rises, 72 minutes. Oppenheimer, 40 minutes. And then The Dark Knight with 28 minutes of IMAX film stock footage, and then The Prestige has one shot, so like half a second. But
yeah, it's the shot where the finger gets cut.
Literally one shot. So he's been trying to use it more and more as he grows his career. This will be the first time ever a film will be able to film the entirety of its shoot with the IMAX film camera.
Yeah, and so obviously Sinners, everyone knows the aspect ratio changed. That's always been in Nolan movies. The aspect ratio will change depending on the moment.
Yeah.
Unless an IMAX theater is cropping it. But he's never actually shot fully with IMAX 65mm cameras until The Odyssey, he's just changing cinema still. DC Comics, they launched a new Batman podcast series. It's going to adapt essential Batman comic stories.
Thank you to DC Comics for sponsoring this video, and please inject this directly into my ears.
The podcast series is called DC High Volume Batman, and there are new episodes every Wednesday.
And they started with one of the most influential comics of all time, Batman Year One.
Yes, this is Frank Miller's hugely influential Batman comic where Bruce leaves Gotham for 20 years, comes back, and creates the persona of Batman to fight crime.
I'm assuming it's available anywhere you can listen to podcasts?
Absolutely correct. Any podcast platform every Wednesday, and the production value, I'm telling you, is off the charts. It sounds like you're in Gotham.
Plus, they're already one episode deep into The Long Halloween.
DC High Volume Batman is an incredible way to experience these legendary comics that will make revisiting the books even more fun, or diving into them for the first time after listening. Let's talk about some more canned stuff. Obviously, Tom Cruise has been there for Mission Impossible 8, and the aura of this man is like a king in the 13th century. It's just everyone gravitates towards him wherever he is. He's there hanging out with Michael B. Jordan. He's there hanging out with just random celebrities, just like, oh my God, it's Tom Cruise.
Michael
It's
B.
so fun
Jordan
to
looked
watch.
like a little kid.
Oh my God, I would have been too. Like
He was like jumping.
That hug Tom gave Michael B. I'm like, I want that, man. I want that hug. So he's just killing it. But he's also obviously the final reckoning. We can all assume what that means. But he says he's working on 4 other movies that are in line. He's working on Top Gun 3, as well as Days of Thunder 2, baby.
Let's go.
Holy crap. Imagine if Ridley Scott makes that. How cool would that be if Ridley made that? 'Cause Tony Scott made the first one.
That would be great. I think that, you know what? Give me more Tom Cruise. I'm happy for a Top Gun 3. I'm happy for a Days of Thunder 2. Why not, man? Why not?
And, of course, he's going to space for a movie, which is going to be incredible.
Unbelievable. All right, next up, we have a huge Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping casting. Ralph Fiennes has been cast as President Snow, previously played by Donald Sutherland, and then I can't remember the actor's name who played the young version. But I think this is a great choice. Everybody loves Ralph Fiennes. He's infinitely talented. Also, Ben Wang has been cast as Wyatt Callow, and then Maya Hawke has been cast as Wiress, who was previously in, I believe it was Catching Fire. So, good stuff. This cast is getting stacked. A bunch of great actors, and I'm very curious to see Ralph Fiennes' spin on Snow.
What's really interesting is they didn't pick Kiefer Sutherland, or I don't know if they approached him, but that would have, I think, just been a no-brainer. Get Kiefer in there because he's Donald's son. But it's so funny and interesting if you have a big villain in a young adult movie adaptation, you just get Ralph Fiennes to do it. Voldemort in snow. It's pretty fun. Okay, so we had another huge trailer, another full-length trailer finally to get a good look at a movie that we're very excited about with F1. There have been some good trailers released so far, but this full-length trailer, it looks amazing, guys. I'm so worried about this movie not performing well at the box office, though, because it cost $300 million. This movie needs $800 million to turn a profit, so it was a very expensive film to make. They're marketing it, and it's going to be expensive to market, but will this movie get that big of an audience? We'll see, but I will be seated. I cannot wait for this. This movie looks incredible. Brad Pitt's just being cool-ass Brad Pitt like usual, and the action sequences, the racing sequences, we're going to see something we've never seen before, and I'm really, really stoked about this film.
I don't expect this film to do colossal numbers, but it doesn't need to because it's an Apple film. So
true. Gotcha.
They don't need huge box office. Obviously, they would like some. I think it will hit 500 million. It could top out over that, but I think 500 million would be the spot I would predict it would finish up globally because F1's big. Brad Pitt. It's really big in scope. They are probably going to play this everywhere. So I think it has a lot of potential to make $500 million. I don't expect it to close in on 700 or anything because of how packed the summer is, and Fantastic Four follows it up. So, but I do think that this trailer was absolutely phenomenal. It looked incredible. I love the dynamics between the characters. We got a really great sense for the story. We got a lot more Javier Bardem, a lot more of Brad Pitt's character, as well as the rest of the cast. And man, I think this could be one of the best movies of the year. Total immersive escapism into action and propulsive dynamic filmmaking. I can't wait to watch this film in theaters.
And just to stay on Brad real quick for one more thing, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 2 news, Elizabeth Debicki is in talks to star in David Fincher's film alongside Brad Pitt as Cliff Booth, which will be a Netflix film.
Speaking of Netflix, they just struck ground on their new gigantic film soundstage production facility. They bought a property, 300 acres in New Jersey, and they're going to build 18 sound stages there. It's going to be their own gigantic production hub in New Jersey. A $1 billion investment.
It's a good investment. They've been shooting I think 6 movies have been shot in New Jersey that they have coming out soon. So I think that for them, it works for them with their tax credits and whatever they're getting for incentives. So I know that they have the New Mexico facility as well, but obviously they're just making so much stuff that they need more space. And, that's going to be great for the industry, for people working in the United States in the industry. On the East Coast, a massive studio being moved there. It's scary, for people in LA that work in the industry as well. It's like Hollywood is losing their grip on the film industry when it comes to production, for sure.
Yeah.
And this is just another example of how it's happening a lot. It seems like it might never come back to Hollywood.
I think that's a sign it will never come back, because if the industrial structure was better formed in the economic structure here, they would have built their sound stages here. So
yeah, 100%. Plus, they probably got some good space out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's right next to New York, so it's great for marketing and events there.
And super close to London. Super close to London. All right, next up, we're going to...
smart business decision.
Yeah, next we're going to talk about the most controversial story this week. And there's a huge lawsuit happening in the midst of the release of an upcoming horror film called Together. Now, Together is the South by Southwest horror hit starring Alison Brie. Sundance hit starring Alison Brie and Dave Franco. They, as well as William Morris Endeavor and the writer-director Michael Shanks, have been hit with a copyright infringement suit over their film, which was apparently sold for a reported $17 million bought by Neon at Sundance. This lawsuit alleges that Together is a blatant ripoff of a film called Better Half, which came out in 2023, which was an indie horror comedy directed by Patrick Henry Phelan. Phelan made this film. Nobody saw it. It got no distribution. I looked into it. You can't really find any way to watch this movie at all. It's on IMDb, it's on Letterboxd and everything, but you can't really watch this film. So it never was distributed. We both read the stories, and I've looked at a lot of people talking about this story, and it seems as though what happened is this director and his producers, they pitched their film Better Half to Dave Franco, Alison, Brie, and WME in 2020, and they declined to make the film and to act in the film. However, their film together has many worrying similarities in terms of story, narrative, characters, and very specific beats and even musical cues to the film Better Half. We don't know anything about what's happening. We don't know what's going on exactly. Dave Franco and Alison Brie claim that they were pitched the new film together by Michael Shanks, who developed his film apparently privately, separate from the movie Better Half. And they say that he's pitched his film to Alison Brie and Dave Franco, whereas the producers of Better Half say that they think that the whole team stole their movie and made a different version of it. You don't really know which side to take, but there are a lot of very worrying, very, 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 very hyper-specific beats in both films. And we're not going to get into any spoilers because the lawsuit details the ending of the film and some of the craziest moments of the film together, so we won't talk about any of that. But if you want to look into it yourself, you can read what the lawsuit entails in terms of what the producers of Better Half believe that this team stole from them from their movie previously. I will say, objectively, it does look very concerning.
And the suit is for $17 million, which is how much it was sold for to Neon at Sundance. It's pretty scary stuff if it's true. I haven't seen either movie, but I'm sure we'll find out more details of this lawsuit soon, because I'm sure this movie was looking for a fall or summer release at some point this year with Neon distributing. Can't be good news if it's true, and it's pretty scary if it is.
Yeah.
But we'll keep you all posted on that. But that was the biggest controversy so far, I think, this year. Let's talk about The Batman 2. Matt Reeves has finished the first full draft of the script of The Batman 2 and is expected to deliver it by next weekend. Reeves has been sending pages of the script for more than a year and a half to DC Warner Brothers. So exciting news, which everyone's been anticipating to hear more about The Batman 2. So get ready. What am I saying?
I don't know.
Because I believe that movie it's supposed to film at the end of this year.
Oh, hopefully they work it out. Robert De Niro received the honorary Palme d'Or Lifetime Achievement Award in Cannes, and it was presented by his friend and collaborator, Leonardo DiCaprio. A very sweet, touching moment.
Very cool. There's a BTS photo of Robert Downey Jr. outside of his trailer on the set of Avengers Doomsday. He's flexing his arm while wearing a muscle suit. He's got dots on his face, obviously for facial capture, as Dr. Doom. And he's also reading Jeremy Renner's new book. So a little tease of the movie behind the scenes, as well as promoting his good friend, I'm sure, in his new book, which is just details the craziest journey I've ever heard of anyone going through, especially in Hollywood. So it's a cool little BTS thing.
I wonder, with the facial dots, is the mask of Doom going to be moving with facial features?
Probably.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Sounds like a pretty interesting take on it, rather than it just being a still face.
Yeah.
Next up, news about the Gears of War film from Netflix. They tapped, officially, David Leitch to be the director of the film. I'm really excited. I loved playing this game. The first two I played, they're a lot of fun. David Leitch, I think, is a perfect fit for this. And will be a Netflix movie, but I think this has a lot of potential to be really badass and gnarly and so much great action.
He's not officially tapped. If you just read the sentence, it says in talks.
He's in talks to direct. He's in talks to be tapped to direct. Wait, no, I thought I read that. I thought I read that he wasn't. I read that he was confirmed.
I don't think I've seen confirmed, but he's in talks for sure.
I talked
he's
to
also
him.
location
He texted
scouting.
me.
He's location scouting right now for How to Rob a Bank,
Interesting.
which is pretty cool. Yeah, we follow him on Instagram. Let's talk about Bring Her Back and this new horror movie from the Philippou brothers behind Talk to Me. Got 94% review rating on Rotten Tomatoes. People are loving it. They're calling it full of great practical gore, gnarly, as well as strong emotional moments, and just gonna floor you and just drain you. And I can't wait to check this movie out. It's getting such good scores.
What a year for horror. Final Destination gets rave reviews, and now this is getting rave reviews. Like we're I think horror's looking really good right now. I'm super excited
Black
for
Phone
this.
2 is coming out this year too.
Yeah, it's looking Sinners, amazing horror film. Man, it's become a very good genre this year. I'm super excited to see more. Great stuff. All right, next up announcement. J.J. Abrams has tapped Brie Larson to star in a new film he's producing. It's a creature horror film called Failsafe. This film stars Brie Larson and follows a young boy who discovers his parents are hiding a disturbing secret about his mother's true nature. It will be directed by J.T. Molnar, who directed Strange Darling, and written by Brian Duffield. They sold this pitch at Cannes the other day.
Very cool. I love that. I can't wait to see what JT does next. I love Strange Darling. Let's talk about Enemies now. Jeremy Allen White and Austin Butler will star in Henry Dunham's crime thriller Enemies for A24. The film follows a relentless detective and an infamous contract killer who collide in a deadly game of cat and mouse. Really exciting stuff. Cannot wait to hear more about this movie. Sign me up.
Man, I hope Austin Butler plays the contract killer. That'd be great.
It seems like he'd be the killer.
Yeah. Next up, we got a couple of trailers. The first one, the first official trailer for Nobody 2. This comes out in theaters August 15th. And this one shows Nobody going on a little vacation with his family and getting into his typical badassery, bunch of fights, bunch of action. Looks pretty good, pretty silly, pretty camp.
And then also we got a trailer for Ballerina, the final trailer, I'm guessing, from the world of John Wick Ballerina. This is hitting theaters June 6th. I'm ecstatic about this film. I can't wait to see Anna. I think there's a real potential here for Anna to sort of become the next big female action star. You know, I think if this character really lands well with audiences, we're talking about possibly the next, Beatrix Kiddo, next Ripley. If it does well, they'll do sequels. So I'm really excited about this, and the action looks awesome. I can't wait to see what the teams come up with for this film.
Yeah, there's so much potential. And they also dropped a brand new poster, and it's a good-looking floating head poster, and Keanu's in it too. But it's a really good one.
Yeah, I think is that the Dolby poster?
Yeah, Dolby, yeah. Next up, listen to this casting announcement. Denzel Washington, Robert Pattinson, and Daisy Edgar Jones will star in Here Comes the Flood from director Fernando Mireles. This film is an unconventional heist thriller about a bank guard, a teller, and a master thief. Coming soon to Netflix. I guess Denzel ain't retired anytime soon.
Who you think's playing who? I wonder if Pattinson's the master thief, Denzel's the bank guard, and Daisy's the teller.
Daisy's the bank guard.
Get out of here.
What, she can't guard a bank?
I'm not saying she can't guard a bank.
Wow, James. Wow. Unbelievable. You're probably right.
Coming soon to Netflix.
Yeah, I'm actually...
That's what makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. Let's
talk about Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
So, of course, he's making a comeback out of retirement for a film that his son is directing, Ronan Day-Lewis, Anemone. It will release in theaters on October 10th.
Focus Features picked it up.
Must be really cool to work with your son. He must be so proud of him, and just it must be an incredible experience.
They co-wrote it together, too.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Next up, and also it's not the first time he's worked with family. He acted in Rebecca Miller, his wife's film, 15 years ago.
That's right, yeah.
Next up, The Passion of the Christ 2 finally got distribution. Lionsgate picked up the title, and they're distributing the film. and it's going to be called The Resurrection of Christ.
They know what sells. Jesus sells, baby, in theaters.
I'm sad they didn't go with Too Christ, Too Furious.
Family. Holy Trinity. Got some. Let's follow up Jesus news with Skibbity Toilet. Michael Bay has released an AI video seemingly teasing Skibbity Toilet, the movie. He said, "Don't worry, not using AI in my movie, but here's a little clue in here."
I can't believe he's making a Skibbity Toilet movie. What the hell? All right, next up. Robert Pattinson and Jennifer Lawrence have a film that's going to be debuting at the Cannes Film Festival this week called Die, My Love, from Lynn Ramsey. They also dropped the first clip of the film, which is a really cool little bit of Jennifer Lawrence and Pattinson's characters walking through grass, kind of like animals. They're moving around kind of like lions or dogs and nuzzling each other. It looks like
they're crawling.
Yeah. It's really interesting. We don't really know much about this film. I'm very curious about this. Very, very curious about this.
We have some AMC news, everybody. AMC is going to reduce prices by 50% on Wednesdays starting in July. The aim is to get more people into theaters between those weekend dates.
Good move.
So if you're not in Stubs, Wednesday's the day to go.
Wednesdays. We got some news about HBO Max's The Night of the Seven Kingdoms. This is the Game of Thrones spinoff. It has been delayed to 2026. It was going to come out this year, originally planned. This is set 100 years before the Game of Thrones and 100 years after the House of the Dragon. It will encounter several members of the Targaryen dynasty. So I doubt we're going to get a trailer anytime soon if they delayed it.
I just feel like there's going to be no interest in this show. I don't know anyone that's excited about this or talking about it. You know, I think they dropped the ball big time with House of the Dragon this past season, and it's just turned people off.
100%.
We'll see. Let's talk about Madden. We got our first look at Nick Cage as John Madden, as well as Christian Bale. I forgot he was going to be in this movie as Al Davis, who's the owner of the Raiders at this time with the team. This is an Amazon MGM feature directed by David O. Russell. And, you know, Nick Cage playing the icon, the NFL legend who served as the head coach of the Oakland Raiders, had a huge successful stint as a commentator later. He's a Super Bowl winner, and he's just a pop culture icon. The video game Madden NFL was and is still so supremely popular and one of the biggest video game series of all time for sports. I can't wait to get a trailer. I just want to hear Nick Cage's voice and what he's going to do, because Madden had a very specific cadence and a very specific way he talked. So I'm very excited about this.
Also, Christian just looks. They both look unrecognizable with the prosthetics and the hair. I'm so excited.
I know. I
wait.
forgot Christian was in it, man.
It's fucking hell yes. The more Christian Bale, the better. All right, next up. My least favorite story of the week. Apparently, there is a Rambo origin story in the works from Sisu director Jalmari Hilander. This would detail John Rambo, before the events of the first film. Maybe it's a wartime film. That's my guess. I don't have an interest in seeing a Rambo origin story.
I guess Sly, I mean, he signed off on the Rocky origin movie and then of his life, but now he signed off on this, clearly a Rambo origin movie to get made. Yeah, it'd probably be him entering the military and getting his Green Beret training.
Yeah.
That's my guess. And then going to war or like doing a mission for the finale.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't need an origin story for Rambo. It's just one of the most iconic action characters of all time. Like,
and who do you get to play Rambo? It's like it's Sly.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Who's a big Italian actor right now?
They're not gonna go. They're not gonna be like he has to be Italian. They'll go with anyone.
True. Let's talk about Outer Dark, starring Jacob Elordi and Lily Rose Depp, who've just been tapped in this Cormac McCarthy adaptation. It's set in Appalachia during the Great Depression and tells of a young woman who bears her brother's baby. The brother leaves the nameless infant in the woods to die, but tells his sister that the newborn died of natural causes and had to be buried. The sister discovers this lie and sets out to find the baby for herself, but as both brother and sister separately move through the countryside, 3 terrifying strangers are on their trails, wreaking death and destruction wherever they appear.
Also, this was another Cannes sale. Just made this week. All right, next up. Panos Cosmatos, the director of Mandy, has just announced his next film starring Elizabeth Olsen, Kristen Stewart, and Oscar Isaac, which will be a vampire thriller called Flesh of the Gods. Sign me up, man. This film follows a couple in 80s LA who are seduced by the Nameless and her hard-partying cable into a dangerous world. Let's go.
Cabal. Hard-partying cabal.
Hard-partying cabal.
It's all good. So I'm stoked for this. I love Mandy, man. And Panos, he hasn't made a movie since, I don't think. And I think he's just a really interesting filmmaker. So this is going to be really cool.
He's a cool dude.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, the sequel, has been delayed almost a year, all the way to September 17th, 2027.
Marvel finally released the trailer for Ironheart 5 years after production. And this series will drop on Disney Plus June 24th. They're going to drop the first 3 episodes that date, and probably the other 3 episodes released within a week as well. I watched the trailer. I'm not going to check this out. It's not really my vibe. I also don't have Disney Plus, so yeah, it looks all right.
I haven't watched any of the Marvel shows, and I haven't really watched much Disney Plus in general for TV. It's just interesting that they filmed this 5 years ago, and finally they're dropping the trailer and finally releasing it. And it's going to be a very short marketing campaign, and it's interesting they dropped it the morning before Superman dropped for their trailer, so it's kind of like got buried organically, which is I don't know if they were trying to do that. So no one's really talking about it, and I think that's probably what they want. It seems like they've just been waiting as long as they possibly can to release it because they have to. You spend over $100 million on something, you have to drop it at some point. But we'll see. I mean, like I said, I don't watch Disney Plus TV shows, but I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy it. Next up, let's talk about Alien Earth. Got another new look at this TV series from Noah Hawley coming out on August 12th on Hulu. And we got a look at Timothy Olyphant, who I did not know was in this show. And he looks almost like not a synthetic, but he's like a leader of a group of other people. He's got this bleached white hair. He looks like he could be a synthetic or a scientist or something. And this follows a group who make a fateful discovery exploring a crashed space vessel set 2 years before the first Alien film, but also that means it takes place after Alien Covenant and Prometheus.
He looks like Rutger Hauer in Blade Runner.
Kind of, yeah.
We got a fun teaser for Spider-Noir, the new Disney Plus series starring Nicolas Cage, the new Prime Video series starring Nicolas Cage. Thanks for being on top of it, James. It looks pretty good. It's a little tease. Yeah, looking forward to it. I think it looks cool in black and white.
Do you think there's just too much Spider-Man stuff now? Do you think it's diluting the character at all?
I think so, but I don't think fans care. I think fans are happy to have this because whether it be the games or the shows or the comics or the movies, I think that fans of Spider-Man just love it so much that they're happy with the more the better. But for me, I think that I'm not gonna watch this show. It's just too much Spider-Man stories for me.
Yeah, I really just like seeing Spider-Man in theaters, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I'd play the game if I was more of a gamer, but yeah. Let's talk about 28 years later. They dropped a awesome poster. It's one of my favorite of the year, a new poster for the movie that comes out June 20th. It's really excellent. It's great color scheme. I don't know if you've seen it, Anthony, but it's terrific. It's got our main leads on there as well with Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Jodie Comer, and Ray Fiennes. I'm beyond excited. We have so many good movies coming out this summer. We are spoiled. We're going to be eating good 2025. We have been, but it's just going to get better and better. But, man, this is one of my favorite posters of the year. I think I got to get one of these. Maybe I'll get it from movieposters.com with our coupon code Raiders10 and our affiliate link.
There's also another poster they released. I don't know if you saw it, where it's the Tower of Skulls from the Bone Temple, and the young boy, is climbing the top of it.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Pretty badass. But yeah, I think this is a great character poster. And interestingly, Aaron Taylor Johnson's front and center.
Yeah, he's the lead.
Well, yeah, I did. Yeah, I wasn't sure if
The colors are great on it, though.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool design. I think it's a great design. Oh, man. Let's go. Let's fucking go. What a summer. What a summer. We're spoiled this year. All right, next up, Cosmo Jarvis, the co-star of Shogun as well as Warfare, has just been cast in a big lead role playing Joseph Stalin in a new biopic called Young Stalin.
It's interesting the types of dictators they make movies about and the ones they don't touch. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But I mean,
this will be him before he comes into power, so it'll be probably like him. Yeah, because Jarvis is our age.
Yeah. Death of Stalin. If you've never seen that, I recommend that. It's an absolutely hysterical satire.
Great stuff.
Did you see the trailer for Americana, starring Sydney Sweeney, Paul Walter Hauser, and Halsey?
I did.
It looks really good. It seems just like this American Midwest South crime movie, and it's got a great tone. It's sort of Tarantino-esque with the comedy and the violence, but it looks like a lot of fun. Also, Coen Brothers feelings.
It's like Thelma and Louise.
It feels like an old... Yeah, but it feels like old Coen, old Tarantino vibes, and it looks really, really good and entertaining. I definitely want to check this out.
News about Buffy. Ryan Kiera Armstrong has been cast as the lead in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer revival series alongside Sarah Michelle Gellar.
There we go. Osgood Perkins. News about him. We got our first look images at his latest film, Keeper, starring Tatiana Maslany. Plot details are kept under wraps. He's also pushing for Neon to get the rights to Texas Chainsaw Massacre so that he can make a movie of it, a new movie for it.
Yeah, he signed a first look deal with Neon this week, where he's going to be able to produce under their banner. So they snagged him for the long term. Smart move because his last two movies have made them a ton of money. What's really cool about this image? It's like a 1 second loop of Tatiana Maslany. Her head is on a desk and looks crazed, and she's like scratching paper with a pencil. And it's just this 1 second loop that plays over and over again for 10 hours straight on YouTube. And they also did an Instagram live for like 48 hours of this Maslany 1 second loop. It was pretty interesting marketing. Little tease. It's cool.
That's sort of been a new trend. Remember Hugh Jackman with Wolverine? Marvel did that like a month ago with him. It was a 10-hour video, and at like a specific point, he does something, and it goes back to him just standing there.
Oh, cool! I didn't see that. Interesting.
Yeah. Next up, let's talk about The Paper. Oh man, I was so worried about this, but the first image for The Paper dropped, and it's obviously in the world of The Office. It follows a Dunder Mifflin crew as they focus on a dying historic Midwestern newspaper and its volunteer reporters, releases in September on Peacock. It stars Donald Gleason as the lead, and he's just like standing on a desk talking to his workers. And fucking Oscar's in this show. He's in the background
it's
on a
Oscar!
desk. Oscar's in the show. I had no idea. This looks like the right tone. Obviously, it's just an image, but I don't know. I'm gonna stay optimistic here, but we'll see.
If Oscar Nunez is in the show, then I'm curious. Who else is gonna be in the show? Wow, I was not expecting that at all. Also, I love Donald Gleason. I think he's great. I think that guy's super talented.
He's so good.
We got the first look at a new twin movie. The Mara sisters, Kate Mara and Rooney Mara, starring in Werner Herzog's new film, Bucking Fastard. And we got one image of them. They're both wearing this like strange, flowy white dresses, and they are touching either hands. It's a really cool, strange image, and it follows the true story of two inseparable twin sisters who live on the fringes of society.
Yeah, maybe a cult kind of thing going on here. Final bit of news. a Creed spinoff series is in the works at Prime Video called Delphi. It'll follow the young boxers that train at the boxing gym from the films. Executive produced by Michael B. Jordan.
Cool stuff. Cool stuff.
All right, that wraps movie news. Thanks so much for tuning in. Check out the content. I'll be posting more of the Harrison Ford meet and as well as the shrinking set visit, which was a lot of fun. Make sure if you engage in that content, that'd be great. That's how we get those invites. That's the only way I got to meet Harrison Ford is because people comment on our Instagram and TikTok and share our videos. So keep doing that so we can keep getting these awesome opportunities. Stay tuned tomorrow for our Final Destination Bloodlines episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. Wednesday is going to be a good one too. So stay tuned for episodes this week. Take care. Let us know what you think of the Superman trailer. And talk to you soon.
See you next time.